All right, there we go. I think we are live. Let me know in chat if you can see my slides and hear me, and we will jump in just a minute. Here now is the perfect time to grab yourself a piece of paper and a pen. You will want to take some notes as we go through this email marketing 101 training. My goal today is to show you how you can finally create an effective plan for what you are sending to your email list. So, we are going to dive into everything from how to get more people opening your emails, a few split tests I've run that you might be surprised by the results, what types of things you can send your list, and how to create that calendar for yourself so you're consistent with it. Again, let me know in chat if you can see and hear me. And now is your last chance to grab that cup of coffee or pen and paper, and then we will jump in and get started. I'm just going to make sure that I can see and hear myself on the page as you guys in chat. All right. Got a little message to the page that lets everybody know we are live. Okay, well, I am super excited to jump into this. If you have had conversations that are anything like mine, when I ask clients, how's it going with your email list? This is the response I get, some variation of, well, see, the thing is, followed by, I haven't sent an email to my list in a while. I'm not really sure how to send an email. I don't know what to write. Well, I sent one, but nobody opened it, or some other challenge. So, my question for you is, what's your challenge? Do you not know what to write? Do you feel like you need a plan? Maybe you don't want to push send. That used to be a big one for me. I would write great emails, I thought, and then I wouldn't send them. I didn't want to push the button because I didn't want to feel like I was bothering people. And then I worried, what if someone clicks spam? Or worse yet, what if they click unsubscribe and write to me to tell me why? Turns out that one's not as scary as you might think, and it does happen from time to time. Uh, who has time to sit down and write all these emails? You're busy working in your business or writing for your blog, like you have time for another thing. I'm going to show you how to get around all of these, by the way. Maybe you feel like no one notices your emails or opens them, or maybe they're not converting into sales for you. That's a horrible feeling, right? You put the email out there, you work hard on it, and it's not converting into sales. So, how do you get around that? How do you make it work for you? If any of these are the challenges that you're dealing with, I'm going to help you solve them today. Real quick, if you don't know me, a few fun facts. I've written 42 blog posts in a single day, and I can knock out a blog post in under 10 minutes. But I can also create pillar content. So we're talking 2,500 words or more. If you've seen my blog, you already know that. I've mentored more than 15,000 bloggers through the Ultimate Blog Challenge and the Extreme Traffic Adventure. Hey guys, I see y'all coming on and saying hello in chat. Awesome. I've published over 1,000 posts on my blog. I'm the creator of the Lingo Dynamics theory, the tools that go with that. We're going to talk about them a little bit in a minute. And I've got more than 2 decades of experience as a speaker, author, and trainer in the virtual business industry. But more importantly than that, I've added my list in less than 30 days, and I've done it over and over again. So not just a one-time thing. I can show you how to actually grow your list, how to get people to it. I've worked with businesses from startups to multi-million dollar inside their email marketing systems. In fact, if you can name an email tool that's out there, I have probably used it over the years. I've been through most of the major systems. I know how they work. I know what their features are, and I've seen what's effective for business owners. And this is the one that may be more relevant to you. After a nearly 2-year oops, I fell off the face of the earth adventure. Has anyone else gone on one of those? Yeah, I took a break from what I was doing in business, and then I came back. And I took my list that truthfully was about on life support, and I revived it to rebuild a thriving business. These were people, maybe even you, who had not heard from me basically in almost 2 years. So, if it's been a couple of weeks, a couple of months, even a year since you've sent an email to your list, I promise you, you can fix that and get back on track. I'm going to show you how you can get action from your emails, opens, clicks, replies, comments, and sales. So here's what you're going to discover today. So you know exactly what to send and when. What to say in your very first email to get people engaging with you. If you've been trying to figure out what do I write in my first email that people get, I'm going to solve that. How to create a follow-up sequence that gets new subscribers excited to receive your emails. Think about that. It's way more fun to hit send on an email when you know people are excited about it and waiting to hear from you. I'll give you 3 fun ways you can get more of your subscribers to open. You guys are going to like this. And I'll also help you figure out how to know when you're ready for advanced features like split testing, automation, and more. Because you guys know, you've seen the crazy maps. There are like 5 billion things you can do to automate emails. But if you dive into that at the wrong time or you try to do the wrong thing, all it becomes is a giant suck of time and frustration for most of us that isn't really effective. So you have to know when to dive into those. So presentation today is going to be somewhere around 45 minutes to an hour. You're going to want to take notes again because I'm going to go through actionable information that you can actually take your notes from today, and you'll have a plan, your email list, some new ideas of how you can get them engaging with you. And I'll do Q&A at the end. So if you have questions, you can put them in chat, or you can use the little click to ask a question button. If you've been on my webcast before, you know over to the bottom right corner of your page, there's a little box that says click to ask a question. If you click on that, hey Carol, hey Regina, hey Kimberly, hey Lisa, you click on the little click to ask a question, it'll ask you to put in your name, email, and you can send your question in. All right, all of the above you've struggled with, Carol. I know the feeling. So let's jump in. I said I would give you the 5 steps to really effective email marketing. And when we talk about effective, that means a couple of different things. Number 1, it means people are happy to see you coming. All right. We all know we've subscribed to lists before that we didn't stay on because we weren't happy to see some of the emails coming. Who else has gotten emails like those? I have. I've unsubscribed from a lot of lists, but there's other lists that I'm excited to see coming. In fact, I wonder where they're at when I don't hear from them for a day or two. There's others that pop into my inbox sporadically, but I open their email almost every time because I know it's going to be interesting. All right. So I want you to think about number 1, and step 1 is, what's the value prop for your subscribers? Why should I subscribe and open your emails? Now, on the page that you saw before you showed up for this live webinar, I asked you a question. I gave you some homework. So if you haven't done that yet, you're going to want to do your homework. But if you have, you should have a list in front of you of 10 questions that your audience frequently asks you. The answers to those questions are the value that you're going to put in your emails. Every time someone gets an email from you, even if it's a promotional email or a sales email, there should be value in it. There should be a reason for them to open it. So I want you to think about, what's the value in the emails you're sending out? What's the value? Those 10 questions that people ask, if you don't have them down yet, I'm going to give you some ideas of what you can use for those questions. Number 1, what are 2 or 3 things people always ask? So when you give your introduction, you say, hey, I'm Susie. This is what I do in business. People hire me to help them solve this problem. Here's the kind of results my clients get. What are those questions people always come back at you with? We generally have 2 or 3, right, that everybody asks. Those are questions you can answer. How about the ones you know they should be asking, but they aren't? What should they be asking you? I want you to think about questions like that. What are the things you see your audience get stuck on? What are they frustrated by? These are the kind of things you want to constantly be talking about and solving in your email. So let's look at how you do that. So if you know your topics, and that one's up to you because it depends on your business, here's some different ways that you can deliver value in an email. So some of these are obvious. Some of these might be a little bit more fun that you haven't tried yet. Blog posts. Of course, when you publish a new blog post, you want to send that out to your list. Let them know, hey, there's new free content for you here. Here's how it'll help you. You can also send older blog posts back out. So anything you've written that got great feedback, When's the last time you took that and said, hey, by the way, have you seen this blog post? Many of your email readers, email subscribers, especially if you're growing your list consistently, they haven't seen your posts from 3 months or 6 months ago. So find a couple of those older posts that you know were really good, send them out again, share them. How about quick tips? You can send quick tips out, yours and other people's tips. And in a minute, we're going to get into how to turn this into a calendar. So right now, I just want to get some ideas going for you. When I say yours and others, it means you can share tips that you've got for your audience. You can also take somebody else's tips and say, hey, I was just on a webinar. Somebody shared this awesome tip with me. I wanted to share it with you. Okay, you can find a YouTube video that's got a tip in it from somebody else. You can use something a client has learned, but send out short tips. The next one is videos. Can you share a case study or tips from your clients, tips from you that are in video format? How about curated content? Some of you are on lists that you know there's a certain day of the week that that person is going to send you their 5 cool things from the week, right? They're going to send you links to their students' things, to things they've got going on, to blog posts they like. They're curating content. What's the value of that? Well, that's stuff that I probably wouldn't find on my own. So what are those things that your audience would love that you're already finding? Stop and think about that. Maybe you create a series on Fridays where every Friday you send out your 5 favorite things that you've run across during the week. This could be a combination of affiliate offers, of your own content, and of stuff that's just really cool that you want to share. When you're doing that, you're creating an expectation with your subscribers that not only are you going to be in their inbox every Friday with something fun, but that you're going to show them things that they don't have to go look for. So you're saving them time, you're helping them discover cool stuff, and it's a great way to, again, deliver some value. So figure out what could you curate that would be useful for your audience. How about stories? Your stories, their stories, and your client's stories. That's a great way to connect with your audience and keep them opening your emails is by sharing stories. How about favors? When's the last time you sent your list a favor of some sort? A gift, a hookup with somebody else, meaning like a friend's got a cool webinar going on, or somebody that you follow on social media sent out a free ebook and you're saying, hey, I just downloaded this. It's really cool. You should go grab it too. When's the last time you did something like that? Speaking of unexpected things, how about unexpected freebies? What have you created lately? In fact, I'm going to share one with you guys that was totally unexpected that I found about 5 minutes before this webinar. When's the last time you sent your list an unexpected freebie of some sort? And again, remember, this doesn't have to be only your content. Yes, it's your list, but part of positioning yourself as an authority, as someone they can trust, is to show them, hey, you keep up with what's going on in your industry. You're connected, you're networking, you can point them to other cool stuff. So if you see somebody else put out something that's cool, why not send your audience over to check it out? Now, this would not be your competition. This is things that are complementary to you, okay? How about exclusives? Share something behind the scenes. Share some kind of content that's only for your list. Your list really is your community, and you want to treat them like they are gold. They are the most important people to you when it comes to building your business. So think about what exclusives you can share. You guys are on my list if you made it to this webinar, which means you know I send out a lot of stuff that I don't post anywhere else. I send out stories of things that are going on for me. Sometimes I send out rants about different stuff. The only places you will generally see those are if you're on my list or if you're in one of my private Facebook groups, because those are things that I only share with my community in that way. So that's part of the value proposition for being on your list, is getting exclusives that people can't find anywhere else. Believe it or not, some of my best content is not on my blog. It's only coming to you via email or in my Facebook groups, right? So think about what are some creative things that you can start sending your list. And I would love comments from you guys in chat of not only what are you thinking you can send your list, but what are 3 or 4 things you've seen recently in your inbox that you found valuable? So if you think about that, what are the last emails you read that you went, this is really cool? Now, as you're thinking about that, I want you to start noticing when you open an email and think that, what is the action that they're asking you to take in that email, which brings us to step number 2. What's the goal? If you have ever heard me talk about email marketing, you will have heard me say this. Always, always, always have an action step. Always. And I'm going to give you a list with some ideas in a minute here. The thing is, as people open your emails, you're training them for a couple of things. Number 1, we want to train them to open our emails. But number 2, we want to train them to know they can trust us and that they can trust what we give them as action steps. Why? Because if they don't follow your advice, if they don't test out the things that you're suggesting they do, if they don't take action, is anything going to change for them? Are they going to solve whatever problem they're struggling with? No. Right? You can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. We've all heard that quote, which I just butchered, but something like that. It's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. You know, you have to motivate your community to try something different, to do something different if they want a different result. Now, part of that is, of course, we want them to work with us, to buy our products, to hire us, to let us help them solve their problems. But if they don't trust us and they don't learn to take action based on what we share, then they're not going to click a buy button. They're not going to invest in anything with us, and they're not going to get their problem solved. So, action goals. What's the next step for your reader? I recommend you jot some of these down. Here are some examples. By the way, one of these is one of the things I promised at the beginning I would tell you. See if you can figure out which one. Number 1, hit reply and comment. So you can actually ask somebody, hit reply on this email and let me know what you're thinking. You guys have seen me do that occasionally. It floods my inbox, but it gives me really great insight into what my audience is thinking, what they're struggling with. And it starts great conversations that very often turn into clients because I'm able to find out what you're stuck on. And when I know what you specifically need help with, then I can either say, great, let's solve that together. Here's what it could look like. Or I could say, hey, I've got a freebie, or I've got a course, I've got a product that will solve this for you. Okay, so hit reply, let me know. Click here to learn more. That's an easy one. I'm sure you've done that one before. Follow me on a social network. When would you use this? Well, for example, if you're wanting to build your Facebook group up, maybe you send out an email that the only action step is, hey, join my Facebook group. Here's why. Watch my Facebook Live. Download this resource. Do this exercise. Asking for an action step does not always have to be click here. It doesn't have to be something people buy. It doesn't have to be an action they take with their mouse. Sometimes you want somebody to do an exercise of, hey, think about this and how you can apply it to your business or your life. Those types of mindset shifts for people, again, go back to teaching them to trust you, that you can guide them to a different outcome or result. Listen or subscribe to a podcast. Watch or subscribe to a YouTube channel. Read this book. I've sent out emails before that the action goal was to get somebody to actually go buy and read a book. Not mine, but mine too, but sometimes someone else's. Join my Facebook group. Register for a webcast. You guys got an email from me either yesterday or today or both, encouraging you to register for this one, right? Book a strategy session. Sign up for my program. By the way, you can absolutely sell straight from emails. You don't always have to go get on my list, stay on my list for 5 years, eventually come to a webcast, eventually buy something. You can actually sell straight from an email. You can put a buy link inside of it and get people into programs or into working with you that way. It just depends on how you've approached the sequence they've been up until then and what you're offering. But that's a myth we hear a lot is you can't sell in emails. You have to send people to a webcast. You have to send them to a video, another page. You can. So sign up for your program, join private coaching, check your email. Yes, the action goal in one email can be, hey, watch your email for this other email. Again, the goal is just to always have a next step for your reader. Condition them that every time they get an email from you, there's going to be an action step in it for them because they will start to get used to that and expect it, and they'll be ready for it. Anytime they open an email with your name on it, they're going to know, okay, there's something for me to do here. Okay, like or heart this. That might be an action sometimes. Check out this resource. How about make a decision? Have you ever sent an email to your list challenging them to make a decision about something? And I don't mean just making a decision to join your program. How about making a decision to think differently about something or to change the way they're handling something, to create a healthy habit, to do something different? When you send out content like that that's focused on helping people change or shift something, they're going to have you on their mind more often because you're the one who helped them change something. So you really want to be top of mind for your potential clients. And with your list, this is one way you do it. I posted something in my Insider Club last night about belief. And actually, let me find the quote real quick because I don't want to misquote it. If you're in Insider Club, you may have seen it. But I was talking about sales and the fact that, we're all taught to sell certain ways. Let me find this post and share this quote with you because it's really important when it comes to how you approach your email marketing. Well, here we go, Insider Club community. And I'm just going to pull this up real quick. There are some of you that I see in chat are in there. So this is the post I wrote last night that had the disclaimer on it. I'm actually going to pull it into this window so I can let you guys, if Chrome will cooperate with me. All right, I think you guys can see this. I'm going to open this up right here. All right, so this is all about sales copy. And there's a quote in here that I absolutely loved. Let me find it. Okay, right here. Harvey Mackay said it beautifully. If you wish others to believe in you, you must first convince them that you believe in them. I want you to think about that a little bit when it comes to your email marketing. Sometimes we get so focused on, hey, buy my stuff, or I've got to send something that's promotional, and we forget. The foundation of what we're doing is helping people believe in themselves. So whatever that change is or that decision is that you help clients create, remember that when you're writing your emails. If you show that you believe in them, they're going to be able to believe in you, right? Plan and action is another action step. So think about every email you send. What is that action step? As you start to do this consistently, you will see your click-through rate go up. It absolutely works. You've got to be consistent with it, though. Don't send out any emails that don't have some sort of action in them. All right, so step 3 is having a consistent calendar. This means create and follow your plan. 2 important steps. Don't just create a plan. Don't just create it, but also follow it. Okay, so let's talk about some simple email calendar systems that you can set up for yourself. How to create a calendar. And I see some comments in chat here and in the Q&A. Let's see here. Okay, all right. I will circle back to these as we get to the end of the slides and presentation here. All right. So when we're looking at a calendar, I want you to start simple, which means I want you to commit to 1 day a week that you will email your list. Just one day a week. And I want you to put in chat what that day of the week is going to be for you. Or if you're watching the replay, I want you to write it down. What day of the week will you consistently email your list? And you can pick any day of the week you want. For most people, Monday through Friday is going to be a better choice than weekends, but it depends on your audience. But pick 1 day a week that you're going to send something to your list. Got it? All right. And I want you to think about what it's going to be. So is it that every week you're going to send a link to your latest blog post? Is it that you're going to send them something based on, here's a quick tip you can implement? Is it that you're going to send them a showcase of a product that you offer? What are you going to send? And I want you to think about that and write it down as well. Because that's the first step, is just looking at, okay, what is my consistent plan going to be? So maybe it's that every Monday you're going to send something out that is some sort of content. And I'll tell you why this is important in a minute. If you get that weekly cycle in place of every Monday, I'm going to send out some sort of content. Make that commitment to yourself. And then if you don't have a new blog post, that's okay. Go find a YouTube video you like. send that out and share it with people, or post it on your Facebook page and send people to your Facebook page so they like it, or better yet, in your Facebook group. Find ways to always be sending useful content that goes back to those 10 questions. So, what are the things that your audience has questions about? If your emails are always answering their questions and helping them in some way, they're going to want to open them. So, one day a week, maybe some sort of content. And then, depending on where you're at with your list, if you're already emailing consistently, I want you to think about adding a second day in the week that you're going to email them and a second type of email. So I'm going to give you some ideas here. Let me find, where did I put that list of types of emails that you can send out. Let's see here. So I should be thinking about, what would a second day be if you were going to send out a second email in the week? What would you share? Now, this could be something like, your 5 favorite things that you ran across during the week. So it's just 5 cool things that you want to share. It could be that that's the day you share a case study from a client of one thing that a client learned this week with you. That can work really well if you do some sort of coaching. It could be that your second email of the week is some sort of product showcase where you give a little behind the scenes of a product you've created if you make products. There's all sorts of different things that you could send out. Okay, you can send out a helping type email. Hey, I just ran across this. I want to help you out and share it with you. It could be your getting to know you day, where one day a week you send something out that's either your personal story, something you've learned, something that you're testing out or trying. It could be some of the things we talked about earlier, a favor, an unexpected freebie. Right? There's lots of cool things that you can send out. It could be exclusive content. It could be something from your archives. It could be content you've curated. Favorite things, I think I mentioned that one. Okay, so those are some different ideas. Now, here's the thing that starts to happen. When you are emailing your list consistently and you're sending content once or twice a week, it's so much easier to set up a sales-related email because you have consistently been sending out helpful things. So when you schedule that sales email, you don't feel guilty about it. Because I can't tell you how many times I've heard from people, I can't send out a promotional email because I haven't emailed my list in forever. I don't want the first thing I send them to be a promotional email. I don't want to be a spammer. I don't want them to feel that way. Okay, I get it. And the way to solve that is having some sort of consistent calendar for yourself where, without fail, every Monday you're sending something valuable. Even if you only do that, hey, I love that idea, Carol. 5 cool celebration and gift related things. Fun idea. Even if Monday is the only day of the week you send out an email, if you are consistently emailing on Mondays, then on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, when you have something special that's a promotion you want to share, it's not going to be as hard to hit send on that because you're going to know, hey, I've been in their inbox with valuable stuff and I've been showing up. They're not going to go, who is this person? How did they get my email address? That's not the reaction we want from our list, right? So I want you to think about that. This is how you create that consistency. It's just having a rule for yourself. Every single Monday or every single Friday, I'm going to send out an email and get ahead of it. One trick that I have to use with myself, and this is probably one of those you shouldn't admit this things. One trick that I have to use is I will very often write and schedule things in advance because then I don't stop myself from hitting send. I don't have to send it right now. Even if it's only like half an hour before it's set to go out, I will go in and schedule an email. And then I back out of the email program and I go do something else. Because I have trouble still sometimes hitting that send button. I get nervous. So find ways to work around the things that are stopping you right now. If your problem is that you're not being consistent with it, then set that rule, write it on your calendar, and make it something fun. Look at it a little bit differently. Instead of looking at it like, I have to email my list something. What am I going to email my list? Think of it instead of, hey, today I get to send out something that's going to make people go, wow, when they open their email. And if you're not confident in your own content for that, first of all, let's fix that. I have a different workshop about creating that kind of content. But think about whose content you do love. What else can you share with your list? If they're not competitive, it's not a bad thing to share other people's resources, okay? So think about that. What can you send that would just make somebody smile? I've had people send things to lists I'm on that are, funny wedding dance videos, which might seem really counterintuitive. However, they took that video and tied it into something about having fun in your business, or they made it into an object lesson. So think about that. How can you have fun with what you're sending out so that you're not dreading it? There's lots of different things you can do. But make a rule for yourself. Choose that day. I'm going to send out emails on this day and stick to it, because that's how you solve the I don't want to send out a promo email because I haven't been in touch with my list, right? So you've got to be consistent with it. Now, the next step to your content calendar is really thinking about what are the promotions you have going on. And I don't have a whole lot of time to go into it, but the quick version is look at your marketing calendar and figure out, what do you have coming up? For example, if I'm going to do something like a promotion for my Proof Factory tool, if I were going to do that later this month, then what I would start sending you guys emails about is how testimonials are valuable in your business. Proof Factory is a tool that lets you capture video testimonials. So I would send out, hey, here's why you need testimonials. Here's 7 different places to use testimonials. Here's how testimonials get you more sales. Here's how to create great case studies. I would start sending things like that to my list so that it ties into what I'm going to market and promote. So as you think about your content, I want you to remember you need to tie it together. So whatever your promotions are, let those inspire what you send your email list so that it feels very coherent to people. All right, so let's go to step 4. Step 4 is a fun one because now you've got step 1, you know what kind of value you're delivering. Step 2, you know the goal for each email you're sending out. Step 3, you've got consistency with a calendar. Step 4 is opt with it. Okay. Email marketing, I know, can feel scary. It can feel overwhelming. It can feel time consuming, but really it should be something you have fun with. And if you guys have seen me in my Facebook groups, I very often do the, hey, let's do a test, which one wins? Because it's really valuable to start learning what your audience reacts to. So let's talk about this. I mentioned, hang on, back up real quick. I forgot to tell you one of the things that I promised I would tell you. So if we go back here, let's see. One of the things I said you would discover was what to say in your very first email to get people engaging. So let's see if any of you guessed this. Hit reply and comment. In your first email, when somebody opts in for whatever freebie you've got, one of the things you can do in that very first email is either in the email or in the PS say, so let's say you opted in for, let's see, I've got a PDF that is 184 different ways to get traffic to your blog. So in that email, I could say something like, PS, hit reply and let me know what you've tried to get traffic that either worked or didn't work. Or I could say, hit reply and let me know your biggest frustration with getting traffic to your site. Hit reply and let me know what's worked for you getting traffic, and let me know if I can feature you in an email to my list. You see how these different things might get somebody to hit reply? PS, hit reply, let me know what your biggest challenge in business is. When you put something like that in that first email, you'll be surprised how many people will actually hit reply. Even the ones who don't start thinking, okay, this person might actually be looking at their email and listening to their community, which is one thing you want to make sure that your subscribers know, that you are reading your email and you are looking to help them. All right, so that's how to get people engaging with you from that very first email. All right, so now we're going to talk about this one here. 3 fun ways to get more of your subscribers to open. So let's jump back to step 4. Okay, so this in particular is a screenshot of MailerLite. That's the system that I'm using to send out my emails. One of the main reasons that I chose it when I moved off of Infusionsoft over other options, and I see a couple more questions in chat, so I'll circle back to those in a minute, is that it gave me split testing options. Okay, it gave me different things that I could, and hopefully you guys can see this. Let me actually just find this image on their site, MailerLite, and then I think I can zoom in so you guys can see it better. So these are some of the fun ways that you can get more people opening your emails, because once you get consistent with it, the next thing you want to do, other than, of course, growing your list, let's see here. Okay, is split testing. So split testing basically is just version A or version B, which one wins? What gets people to open, what gets people to click? You've got different options, right? Um, Here we go. So I think I can zoom in. I zoom in. There we go. All right, you can see in here, and a lot of different email systems have this option. So I want you to check your system to see what you can do. These are some advanced features that even if you don't have very many people on your list yet are valuable. And I'll show you some examples of this in a minute. So regular campaigns, A/B split campaigns, and auto resend campaigns are some of the options in MailerLite. When you do a split test in here, you can try two different subject lines. You can try two different from names, and you can try changes in your email content. Now, if you're going to do email content, don't change too much. Don't write two totally different emails. Most of the time, you just want to change a small thing in there. So what color is the button? What wording do you have on your link? Things like that, that you can go, okay, clearly my audience is more likely to click a purple button than an orange button, okay? Or, yes, when I put an emoticon in my subject line, more people opened it than when I didn't. Which, by the way, every time I've split tested that, you guys always open the email with the emoticon at a higher percentage. Isn't that interesting? So you can find out things like that. So here's a couple of ways to get more people opening your email. Number one, use personalization in your subject lines. That's available in almost every email program. And you don't want to do that every single time you send out an email, but at least some of the time name in the subject line. Sometimes use an emoticon in there. That also gets a higher open rate for most audiences. Now, you've got to know your audience, so really think about all of these tips. They're general. They're based on, your audience may be a little different. So think about that, but test these things out. Another thing that you can do to boost your open rates is to use what's called a preview line. You guys know how in Gmail or a lot of programs, you can see the first little bit of an email. Use that smart. Don't make it say, hello, Susie, which it may say by default. Instead, have it say something that's actually going to grab people's attention. All right, so you'll notice when you see my emails, most of the time there's something right in the top of it that grabs your attention. It's called the preview line. So I'm going to see if I can load that real quick. See what's the best way to show you guys an example of that. When you are creating an email campaign, most software will let you do that. So I'm going to go over here, create campaign, and drag this back over here. Let's see. All right, you should be seeing in here, I could create a campaign. I'm just going to go, okay, so for example, if I'm inserting personalization, I would put name in. This is a test, and I'm going to put a little emoticon in here. If you don't have this built in as an option in your email software, you can Google emoticons and copy and paste them most of the time into your subject line. You'll want to test it, send out a test email, make sure it works. Most of the time you can do that though. So from there, you go into your content, and I'm just going to choose, let's go with a recent email here. So if I go in here, I can just copy one of my previous emails, and I think this will let me preview it so I can show you the preview line that I'm talking about here. All right, see right up here, I've got email marketing secrets revealed inside. That's a preview line, and those will absolutely get more people opening your email. Now, if I didn't have that up here at the top, what you would see is, hey, have you ever felt ... which might get your curiosity, but I'm much more likely to get your attention when I write something specifically designed to show up in your email box before you open the email that's going to grab your attention. Okay, so higher open rates. Subject lines, use people's names, use emoticons. Also, run them through a tool like, for example, I tend to like this one, hooklinedynamic.com. You can tell it that you're writing an email subject line. Not only will it help you figure out how to make a more exciting, empowering, positive headline, it will also help you keep it shorter, because shorter email subject lines do get more opens. It will grade it based on email metrics. as well as these three here. So this is super easy to use. Right, and go through here. I'm going to tell it email subject line. That's important so that it can score me based on that. All right, this is not a great score. So I would go in here and look to swap some words around, try some different things. You can see here, this is actually short for an email subject line based on what gets the most options. So it's telling me I should probably lengthen it. Okay, so you can click Get Full Report. You can check this tool out on your own. It's free to use the basic version of it here, and that'll help you write better subject lines. So subject lines, number one. Number two is the preview line. Make sure that you use that preview line I showed you. Where did I show it to you? Over here. Okay, your email system probably has that built in. If not, just add some text above everything else, and it will be the first thing that shows up for people. Right, and then the third way is your from sender. You'll notice right here, there's an option to split test from names. I've done this several times. Every single time, my name does not win, sadly. So get creative with what you put in there. Now, you do have to be honest and transparent about who is sending an email. So you can't just put Mickey Mouse and leave it at that. However, you can put something creative in and then put via Michelle Schaefer, something like that, or via, of course, your name or your company. So think about trying some different things. You guys have seen me. I send things all the time that are from your fairy godmother or different characters like that. And I actually write the email as if that character had written it. But that will get you higher open rates as well. To be creative, have a little bit of fun with what you're doing. Okay, so that's 3 ways to get more people opening your emails. Let's look at some specifics. So, which variation of this subject line did you see today? You got an email this morning that said, live webinar training today, my best email secrets. You'll notice I have a little emoticon mailbox in there. I split tested whether the word free would increase or decrease the open rate. And actually, let me go see what won that split test because I haven't checked. So if you want to guess in chat, let me know, A or B, which one do you think got more opens and more clicks? Sometimes these are surprising. Sometimes they're like, well, yeah, that was obvious. What do you think got more clicks? The winner, as tested by MailerLite this morning, the version with free in the subject line got more opens and got more clicks. Now, the reason I wanted to test that is not just because I thought free would get more opens and clicks. To me, that seemed kind of obvious, right? However, because of spam filters, I wasn't sure if putting the word free in there would mean less people saw the email because clearly, if I put that in there, it's going to get to fewer people's inboxes. But I didn't know if the power of the word free would actually compensate for it because the people who do see it, more of them would open and click. And it did. So in the case of this email, B1, right? Let's look at another one. This one actually fooled me. Version A was from Clueless to Email Marketing Pro in 5 minutes, infographic. Now, normally when I put infographic in a subject line, it wins. But version B, I tried Email Marketing 101. You can do this. Version B1, not only did more people open it, but significantly more people clicked on the links inside that email. This is why it's important and fun to run split tests like this, because you can start to see, okay, what is it that's getting my audience's attention? Because I can give you all the stats I want. If you're writing for a different audience, they might not like emoticons in their subject line. They might find it unprofessional and unsubscribe. So you want to test things for yourself, okay? So this one, I think the reason Email Marketing 101 actually won was because nobody wants to feel clueless. The first one's kind of negative. From Clueless to Email Marketing Pro in 5 minutes. Sounds like that one would convert higher, but it didn't. Because part of it is it's not as empowering as the other subject line. Additionally, inside that email, if you saw a copy of it, you may remember Email Marketing 101 is languaging that I used in the links. So there was a consistency between the subject line and what people were clicking, which helped it get more clicks. You want your subject line to match whatever's inside your email if you want a higher click-through rate. Okay, so think about that when you're writing your subject lines and when you're choosing what text to turn into links. It makes a difference. All right, so those are just a few of the ways that you can have some fun with split testing. And if you don't have an email system that you love, I'm going to highly recommend MailerLite. In fact, I will give you guys a link to it that if you use it, let's see here, will get you set up with an account that is both free for up to 1,000 subscribers. It stays free. You don't ever have to pay for that. Or when you hit over 1,000 subscribers, you can get $20 off. So I'm going to put that in chat for you guys. Let's see. Just in case anybody is looking for a reliable email system that gives you some of these advanced features. All right. So step 5. Step 5 is explode. Grow your list, send your emails, watch the magic, basically. So once you've got these pieces in place, you know you've got your follow-up email in place when people opt in. You know you're consistently sending them emails certain days of the week with valuable stuff in it that is teaching them to click, to open, to take an action and learn they can trust you, that it's safe to follow your directions, that you're going to give them valuable stuff. You're going to answer their questions. You're going to help them out. Then you want to really focus on growing your list. You want to focus on getting more people onto your list. I'm going to give you guys 2 bonuses because you showed up and watched this particular presentation. And because I am using features in my email software that lets me see who clicked this link, I can let you guys in on some bonuses. Now, one of them that I'm going to send you is the one I mentioned when we were looking at value props. Unexpected freebies is one of the things I mentioned. So as I was preparing for this webcast, I found a PDF that I wrote several years ago about subject lines. They're fill-in-the-blank subject lines that will boost your email opens. So I'm going to send that to you guys. And I'm also going to send you some ways to grow your list because we don't have too much time to go into that right this moment to get your list really growing. And I do want to share more with you about that. So I will send that over. You're going to want to watch your inbox. The other thing that I wanted to do real quick is invite you to join me. So if you found this useful and it's given you some different ideas on how else you can look at the way you approach your email planning, the content that you're sending out, and you can see where, okay, if I follow some of this, this could work. I could actually get a calendar in place. I could get something going with it, get people clicking through. This could build my business. I want to invite you to join me for an email marketing workshop. And we're going to have fun with this because I really do feel like when you remove some of those scary moments, you can have fun creating things for your list. You don't have to feel clueless. You don't have to wonder, what do I do to get people on my list? All of that we're going to talk about in the course. How to use segmentation. That's one of the things that I'll show you. How to do automation. So there's 2 parts to the workshop, Friday, March 2nd and Friday, March 9th. I'll be teaching it live, kind of like this here. And I'll be doing Q&A on those as well. And I'm going to circle back to Q&A with you guys in just a minute. So there's 2 parts to it. The first is the basics. How do you create and grow your subscriber list? So really focusing on what do you set up for your opt-in page? How do you get that getting people to opt in? What kind of things will get people on your list? And then what do you send them in what order? And how do you stay on track with it? So getting those basic pieces in place. And then the second part is getting a little fancier. So follow-up sequences, automation, segmentation. How do you do things like send something to people who click or see who takes certain actions? And how do you get people to click through from an email to something like a webcast or to one of your products or services? So we'll be talking about all of that. I'm going to give you access to my swipe file of more copy and paste headlines. I'll share more behind the scenes split test results, subject lines, sender names, things like that. So I'll actually be inside my email software, kind of like I was today, showing you guys some more. I'll give you a list of 27 things that you can send to your list as well, and really just help you get creative and get some things in place so that your email marketing works for you. Everything will be recorded. You guys will get replay access to that on demand as soon as it's done live. So I'll use a YouTube just like this, so it's immediately available after we wrap it up. If you'd like to join me, it's $47. Or if you're in Insider Club, you guys know you have a discount code. You can use that on this. All you got to do is click the Get Access Now button and fill in your details. and that'll let you get all set up for your spot. I'm going to put this link in chat for you. Let me find chat. There we go. And I'll put a button on the page as well for those of you who would like to join me for that. It'll be a lot more of what I've shared today. So we'll go a little bit deeper in all of the different pieces that I've been sharing with you of how you can really, again, get your email marketing working for you. Because one of the things that I am incredibly thankful for is that when I came back to my business after a break, I had a list of people that I had built up. And because of that, I was in my business and make it work. And it's because these are the approaches that I followed over the years, was making sure that I'm adding value with what I send out, that I'm sending things that people want to open. And when you figure out how to do that, you really can have fun with it and build something that really helps you build your business. So I would love to see you guys in the workshop. It'll be a small group so we can do a lot of Q&A interaction. I'm happy to take a look at your emails, help you figure out what do you say where. And again, this Friday and next Friday is when that is happening. If you want to grab your spot, you can do that now. And I'm going to go back over to chat and questions and answer some of those. Let's see here. And I'm going to put the slide back up. Which slide? There we go. So I'm going to leave the slide on the screen for a minute. Some of you were wanting to put that down. And actually, I can make this bigger so you can see. I think, well, no, that didn't work. I'm going to zoom in, but I'll just leave that up on the screen for a minute since Zoom seemed to, wait, maybe this one works. Ah, there we go. Oh, wait. Oh, too zoomed. Well, and now I'm very zoomed in. Let me refresh my slides here. I haven't tried that before. Probably should have tested that. Let's see. Now that I know I can zoom in with this little button, we're going to zoom in once. There we go. All right. Now you might be able to see that a little better, so you can jot those down if you want to. Just some different things that you can give as a call to action with your emails. Where can I see links you put on the chat? Okay, so depending on what browser you're in, if you can't see the chat, I will put the links on the side of the page for you. Sometimes that happens. Let's see. Link to MailerLite. What else did I link to here? Let's see. MailerLite and the email marketing course. So I'm going to add those to the sidebar. They will show up in a minute because, you know, this page is magic like that. Insert. Actually, let me make this link big enough that you can see it. And if you're not using an email system that you love, I am a huge fan of MailerLite. Again, I've tried like everything under the sun. I've been on the big platforms like Post and Infusionsoft. I've worked with Entreport. Let's see. Join email marketing 101. And I've also used the systems like GetResponse and Aweber and MailChimp and all of those. Speaking of, if you're doing any affiliate marketing, I do not recommend MailChimp. They don't like affiliate marketers. Includes me. Always good to know what the terms are for the various services we use. Okay, those links should show up on the side of the page in a minute here for you. And I'm going to go back to the Q&A box. The chat does require you to sign in. So you might see something that has social media icons. If you click on one of those, it'll let you sign in. I don't have anonymous comments enabled on chat because I like to know who you guys are and see your pretty faces. All right. Yes, a lot of you guessed A on the yes says. I see that in the comments here. Okay. MailChimp gives you a URL for emails that you send out. Can you give ways to make use of those? Okay, so I'm guessing it's the, if you can't see the images, click here type link that they put your email on a page. Basically, ways you can use that. You can link to it from social media. So you can say, you know, hey, latest issue of my email newsletter just went out. If you didn't see it, click here to check it out. You can also use it as a way to encourage others to share it. So those are a couple of things you can do with those. You can give access to those as archives as well. So you can let people know, hey, if you are looking for the emails that I've sent out already. Here's how to find the archives. Mostly that would be something, though, that I would suggest you could share on social media if you wanted to, and let people know, hey, if you like the content, be sure you subscribe. Here's where to go to get on my list. Will there be a replay? Yes, you will have access to the replay as soon as we wrap up Q&A here. You will be able to access the replay. All right, let's see here. Okay, I see you guys committing to days: Monday, Saturday, Tuesday, someday. Okay, no, someday is not an acceptable response to that question. All right. Oh, here's a cool suggestion. If you're looking for content ideas, invite to a free multi-day webinar with a variety of topic-specific value-giving presenters. Absolutely, doing something like we used to call them telesummits. Some people still do those, where there's different interviews with experts who are all sharing different perspectives, either around a topic or around a process that leads to a specific outcome. That's a great thing to share with your list. It's a great way to build your list as well as to host something like that. And that's something we can dive into in the workshop if we got people looking to do that. Another approach to that is doing like if you've been on my list a while, you probably saw Feed Your Funnel that I did. It was like a full weekend, like 8 hours a day video of me and guests teaching different ways to get people into your funnels and how to build your funnels. That grew my list like crazy. So there's different things like that that you can do as well. Okay, a couple of people couldn't find chat. I will have to figure out how to make chat to find. Okay, let's see here. More questions. Actually send promo emails. Okay, that really depends on how often you're emailing overall and what you're promoting. So in February, I probably sent out, goodness, probably at least 15 promo emails, if not more. Now, you probably saw 5 or 10 of those because I segment my list so that not everybody sees all the promos. I have different promotions going to different groups. For example, you guys will see invites to join me for the email workshop. My whole list will not see the same invite because I try to match what I know you're interested in with what I offer you. There were certain groups of my list that got offers for things like my mastermind group, for other things that I offered this month. It depends on what people are already in. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, the second thing is, how many other emails are you sending out? So if you're only emailing twice a month, you probably don't want both of those to be promotional emails, but there are exceptions to that that I'll go into in a second. When you're looking at how often to send, think about what else you're sending out. And then I want you to think about your promo emails differently. Because if your promotional emails are always still delivering value, you could send them out every day and people will not en masse hit spam and unsubscribe. As long as there's something other than just, hey, click here and buy this. So if you are doing things in those emails where you're sharing behind the scenes, you're sharing some tips. For example, let's say I wanted to sell Jamberry nails. I was perhaps looking at Jamberry nail wraps earlier today, so they're on my mind. If I were going to do that, well, I would look for a way to blog, probably something around, style, which this is why I don't get into that kind of opportunity. Nobody needs advice from me on style, different webinar, different host. But if I were going to do something like that as an opportunity, I would create blog posts that were around topics my audience would be interested in. So, things around personal style, right? And if I were going to send out promo emails, not only would I send links to the blog post, but I would look for ways to put tips in every single email. Like if I were going to promote a certain style, I would look for a way to talk about, here's how to choose the different patterns that go together really well. Or here's how to know which colors are neutral enough that, you can go from your office to weekend fun without having to change your nails. And somebody who's into fashion more than me would have better ideas here, but you get kind of the gist of it, right? That the goal is have something helpful in every one of those promo emails. So let's say the Super Bowl or something's coming up and I want to promote things that are fan themed. So maybe I've got, nail wraps that have the Cowboys logo on them or something that I want to promote. Well, I could send out a promo email that also talks about, here's some cool ways to plan your Super Bowl party or tie it into holiday tips in some way. Okay, so every time you send a promo email out, put some value in there and people won't look at it as just, okay, it's another promo email to buy something. They'll be curious to see, okay, what's Carol going to share today that's going to give me some ideas of, whatever those things are for your particular audience. So you can wrap a promo into something valuable and makes people want to open your emails. And if you're doing that, then it's not quite as, okay, I don't want to send things too often, because that's something people are looking forward to. Okay. So think about that piece of things. All right. Okay, I see a couple of you mentioned some software that you're using. Yeah, ConvertKit has some very cool features. When I'm looking at software, and I saw this question came in also, hang on. No, my computer may not restart and install updates right now. My MacBook has great timing. So when you're looking at what to use for sending out your email, I want you to look for a couple of things. Number one, it needs to integrate with whatever else you've got. So anything you need to connect it to, make sure you look for that. And then the second thing is look for the features that you're actually going to use. Okay, not just now, but what are you going to grow into? Because it is a pain in the bottom to move your email list. Now it's gotten easier. Like when I imported into MailerLite, nobody had to opt in again. We didn't have to go through the, hey, click a link to be on my list, none of that. But it does take time and you have to learn a new system. So I suggest looking for one to start with that will grow with you, that gives you access to some of these features that we talked about on the webcast today. So, split testing. There's some other really cool features in MailerLite. I don't have time to go into, but like it'll auto resend. You guys may have seen this. If I send you an email in the morning and by later that day you haven't opened it, very often you will get another copy of that email with a different subject line where I am trying to catch your attention. So that's called an auto resend campaign. Another thing you can do in a lot of software, I believe MailChimp does this, Aweber I believe does it, GetResponse I know does, is an RSS to email. So if you have a huge resistance to sending emails out to your list and you know that, you've been dealing with it, you're working on it, one of the things you can do is hook your RSS feed from your blog up to your email software, and it will automatically send an email to your subscribers when you publish something new on your blog. Now, best practice is to actually write the little email yourself so you can customize it. However, it is always better to get something done than to get it perfect. So if you're not sending those emails out, I encourage you to try the RSS to email feature in your email software and see if that helps you to get a little more consistent with sending things to your list. All right, let's see here. See if we've got any more questions. I'm going to hit refresh on the Q&A box here. Okay, let's see here. Diana, welcome to the course. Yeah, I saw you grabbed your spot. Awesome. Excited to have you in there. Let's see, more questions about replay. Yes, the replay will be on this same link. So I see a couple more of you have gotten signed up. Awesome. Welcome to the course. Okay, I think I've hit all the questions here. All right, so watch your inbox after this email for a couple of things. Number one, you will get the replay, or you can just refresh this page in a minute and you'll have access to the replay. Number two, yes, since I got a lot of requests, I haven't counted them all, I will send you a copy of my slides. I got that request in here quite a few times. And number three, I will send you the PDF I mentioned of headlines or subject lines, that you can copy and paste and use. I encourage you to start with some of those templates that I'll send you. Test them out in the Hookline Dynamic tool so that you can really see what words work best, and then use them in your emails. See what happens. Most of the time when people tell me no one's opening their emails, it's because we haven't quite figured out how to write interesting subject lines. So fix that and you will see your email open rate go up. All right, so those will be in your inbox later today. Thank you for joining me either live here. It's been great to see you guys in chat who are on live, or for catching the replay. And I hope to see all of you Friday for the first session of the email workshop. We're going to dive in and really go deeper with everything I've shared here and more about how to get your email working for you, how to really build your list so that it builds your business. You guys have an awesome rest of your Tuesday, and I will see you in your email inbox.